let's see how to deploy a small Node.js, specifically Express.js application to Netlify. This process is very short, it will only take us a few minutes and is completely free. So first, this is the application that I want to deploy, and as you can see, it's a very simple Express.js server. So I only have two GET routes here, one for the root of the website and another one for an about page. Let's take a quick look at the package.json file, and as you can see, my only dependency right now is Express. And let's try to access this small Express application on the browser on localhost. So right now it is running on localhost, and I can see the home page, and if I click on this link, I can see the about page, and of course I can get back to the home page. So this is running just fine on localhost, and our goal is to deploy this to Netlify so that anyone in the world can access our amazing Express.js application. So first, you're going to need a Netlify account, of course. So let's try to visit Netlify, and the direct link is app.netlify.com. Just like this, app.netlify.com. And if you don't have an account yet, you will need to create one. And as you can see, at the moment, I don't have any projects here. I didn't deploy anything yet. So let's go back to Visual Studio Code. And we're going to start by installing two NPM packages, Netlify CLI and serverless HTTP. So npm install Netlify CLI and serverless HTTP. So let's hit enter. And they were installed, and let's see the updated package.json, and you can see that now our dependencies include Express, Netlify CLI, and serverless HTTP. Next, I want to move my app.js file to a new folder, and I'm going to call this folder source. So here I'll create my source folder, and of course this step is completely optional. The only reason I'm doing it is that we're going to have a few more folders here that are needed for the Netlify deployment. So just to keep things in order, I prefer my app.js file to be in the source folder. But as I said, this step is optional and you don't really have to do it. But I am going to do it anyway. And now app.js is in the source folder. Now we need to make one small change to our application. So first, we don't need these lines. I'm going to comment them out because this is only needed when we want to serve the application locally. But since we're now going to use Netlify, we don't need these lines. What we do need, though, is to export our application. And this is why here I'm going to set my exports. So module.exports is going to be equal to app. Next, we need a new folder called Netlify. And in this new folder, we need a new subfolder called functions. So let's create the folder along with its subfolder. And using the -p flag, I can create the directory and the subdirectory in one line. So Netlify /functions. And here it is, Netlify functions. And inside this new subfolder, I need a new file called index.js. So it's going to be Netlify functions index.js. So let's create this file, Netlify functions index.js. And this file is where we're going to require serverless HTTP. And I stored it in a constant called serverless. And now we also need our application itself, the one that we exported. Do you remember? Here we exported our application. And this is why in index.js we're going to import it. So const app is going to be require, and we are going to require it from our source file. So we need to go 2 folders up and then go into the source folder. And the last thing we need in this file is module.exports.handler, and this is going to be serverless. This is the constant we defined here. And as a parameter, we're going to pass our application. Next, we need to create a folder called dist. Just like this. This folder is going to stay empty for now. And we're almost there. The last file we're going to need is netlify.toml. And this file needs to be in the root of our project. So let's create the file. So netlify.toml. And I already wrote here the code that we need in this file. So we can see that publish is going to be the dist folder. The functions can be found in this folder, netlify/functions. Here we need to specify the node modules that we are using. So my application is using Express, and this is why I had to specify it here. And we also need the redirect, which will redirect all traffic to our Express application. We're now ready to deploy to Netlify, and the first thing we need to do is to log into Netlify. This can be done using npx netlify login. So just like this, npx netlify login. And I am already logged in, but the first time you do that, it will open the web browser and you will have to confirm the login request. And to actually deploy, we're going to run npx netlify deploy. And I'm also going to specify the prod flag, so --prod for production. So let's run this. and it's letting us know that this folder isn't linked to a Netlify project yet. This is why here I'm going to choose create and configure a new project. So let's choose this option. For team, I'm just going to go with my name. Then we need to provide a project name. So I'll go with Express.js simple example. And it's now being deployed. Will only take a minute or two. And we can see that our production deploy is live. We can now follow this link, and we can now see our application served on the internet using Netlify.